There are plenty of players in the NFL, many of which have had consistent seasons. Whether that consistency is good or bad does not matter. You simply know what you're getting into when they step onto the field. Then you have these special players. Players that are so inconsistent for a fraction of time in their careers that it can be a driving force for big-time contracts or trades to specific teams. These players are not one-season wonders though. These players hit their strides for half a season, maybe a quarter, or for some, just a couple of games. What they all have in common is an extremely strong performance that no one saw coming, and the media latching onto them as a savior. Then, when all the attention is on them, they fall short. This is the greatest what-if quarterbacks of the last decade. Robert Griffin III and the 7-game winning streak. When RG3 came out of Baylor, he was the highest rated QB prospect, and the push was on to have his talent join an NFL team. That year, the Redskins drafted him, and RG3's career started out tough, with a 3-6 record and more questions than answers. That's when Griffin impressed us all and led the Skins to a 7-game winning streak and won the NFC East title. Griffin was named Offensive Rookie of the Year and was set to face a relatively unknown fellow rookie in Russell Wilson. It was Seattle versus Washington in the nation's capital. RG3 was a consensus pick to bring his team further in the playoffs, but Shanahan made a terrible decision. With RG3 clearly hurting while down late in the fourth, Mike Shanahan kept RG3 in the game, and the injury he suffered shaped his next 7 seasons. RG3 was never the same player after that game. He would be seen with the Browns and now the Ravens, but his first season is a tale of what if. Nick Foles and his 2013 season. This list must include Foles twice. The first time he showed his credentials as a what-if player was when he threw for 27 touchdowns and just 2 interceptions for Philadelphia in 2013. He went 8-2 as a starter and tied the NFL record for 7 touchdowns in a game against Oakland. After that historic run, Nick Foles was traded to the St. Louis Rams. However, he did not have the same fortune. He would finish his 11-game stretch with St. Louis, throwing just 7 touchdowns to 10 interceptions, posting a 4-7 record. And everyone asked, what happened to Nick Foles? What if he played like he did for the Eagles? Josh McCown in 2013. Josh McCown has played a snap of football for 9 teams as of the 2020 NFL playoffs, but this journeyman had the best 5-game stretch of his career in 2013. The Chicago Bears were down starting quarterback Jay Cutler for the regular season and looked to McCown to finish the year. He did that and more. McCown won 3 of his 5 starts and threw 13 touchdowns to 1 interception. The Buccaneers and first-year head coach Lovie Smith saw something in McCown and signed him to a 2-year, $10 million contract. Unfortunately for McCown, he went just 1-10 as a starter for 11 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. What if he was the player that he was for Chicago? Would they have brought in Jameis Winston? Ryan Fitzpatrick and his historic 2-game run with Tampa Bay. With Jameis Winston suspended for the first 3 games in 2018, the Buccaneers turned to Ryan Fitzpatrick to be their starter, and he delivered one of the most intriguing 3-game performances in NFL history. Fitzmagic would throw 11 touchdowns and beat the Saints and defending Eagles in the first 2 starts. He would also become the first player in NFL history to throw 400 yards or more in 3 straight games. After that run, Bucs fans began to wear oversized beards and called for Fitzpatrick to be the starter moving forward. He never performed even close to those 3 games for Tampa. Nick Foles and the end-of-season push with Philadelphia. Foles finds himself on the list for a second time, as he had one of the most memorable and popular postseason runs in Super Bowl history, as he won Super Bowl MVP for the Philadelphia Eagles. This stretch had fans call for him to be the starter over Carson Wentz, and Foles would play very well over Chicago the following season in the wild card round. But this prompted the Jacksonville Jaguars to throw house and home at Nick Foles. He signed a 4-year, over $50 million contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Nick Foles has never won a game for the Jaguars. Kyle Allen and fooling Carolina and Ron Rivera. Kyle Allen won his first 5 starts for the Carolina Panthers, with a perfect 4-0 record to start his 2019 season when Cam Newton got injured. During that time, Kyle Allen had captured the NFL scene, and many fans were calling for a Cam Newton trade and to give the franchise over to Allen. Then, the magic ran out. Allen would lose 8 of his final 9 starts, and on December 16th, he was benched in favor of Will Grier. His midseason collapse helped push the Panthers organization into firing head coach Ron Rivera, and makes us all wonder, what if he played well all season? There are also 2 honorable mentions. Gardner Minshew, Minshew Mania. With the aforementioned Nick Foles signing with Jacksonville, Foles' start was a disaster, and he found himself injured in Week 1. Minshew would start his career 4-3 as the starter, and the term Minshew Mania was born. T-shirts were made. Jacksonville's Twitter was all in on Minshew. But a disastrous London game against Houston by Minshew called for the expensive QB Nick Foles to go back into the starting lineup, until Foles struggled again against Tampa Bay the following week. Minshew would start the remainder of the season and finish his starting career 6-6. He is still too early in his career to be included in this list, but any more inconsistent play and he is an honorary member. Devlin Duck Hodges. Duck Hodges played in relief of an injured Mason Rudolph and played well enough to secure a win over the Chargers. With Rudolph out, Hodges won 3 of his first 4 games he started, but ultimately struggled and was benched. While he was inconsistent, he played better than ever expected, so he isn't officially on the list, but he did get fans to wear duck hats. That's a what-if situation. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Tyler. Have a great day.